Bali, island of the gods. Immediately on arrival in Denpasar, capital of the province of Bali, the road takes us to the southern peninsula of Nusa Dua. In recent years, luxurious hotel complexes have appeared, tastefully recreating the island's ethnic traditions, as demonstrated by the Bali Hilton. Each of these fine hotels possesses its own beach, huge gardens and swimming pools, restaurants and shopping centres. Colourful dance and drama are important cultural ingredients in the lives of the Bali people. Almost every village has its own dance group, and much time and money is invested in new costumes and masks. The favourite dance is the Barong, the ancient fight between good and bad in the form of mythical creatures. Background music for this dance story is supplied by the Gamelan Orchestra. 30 to 40 men play on various xylophones and gongs. The musicians appear to be improvising, but they are playing from memory, as musical notation is not used here. Barong, a mystical being mainly portrayed with lion masks, embodying the strengths of the earth and confronting evil. Rangda, Queen of the Witches. The wicked queen wishes to sacrifice her son, Prince Sadava, to the goddess of death. The president has received orders to take the prince to the cemetery. He adores him as though he were his own son and refuses this suggestion. Consequently, he too is cast under the witch's spell and carries out the deed. Dressed as a priest, the god Shiva appears and takes pity on Prince Sadava. He immortalizes him. Just as the death goddess is about to sacrifice the prince, she realizes that he is immortal and admits defeat. She pleads with Sadava to kill her, but the prince refuses. As a result, she changes into a wild boar and is overcome by the prince. As she transforms herself into the witch, Rangda, she is no longer able to defeat Sadava. Now the prince transforms himself into the Barong, and the duel begins. The prince's bewitched supporters point their swords toward themselves until the Barong destroys the influence of the Black Witch. The fight ends undecided, as good and bad belong together like light and dark, like day and night. The life of the Bali people is strongly influenced by Hinduism. They live in constant contact with their gods. In order for them to remain pure, they are more than pleased to be supplied with music, dance and gifts. Goa Gaja, the shrine in central Bali, is our first stop. This area once served as a meditation center for monks of the Shiva cult. Dating from the 11th century, the so-called Elephant Cave is entered through the mouth of a monster. Inside the cave, there is a statue of an elephant-headed Hindu god. Discovered much later, the bathing spot in the main chamber, with water spouting from heavenly nymphs. In 1597, Dutch sailors landed on the island of Bali and didn't want to leave. They had discovered paradise. The most beautiful of the 17,000 or so Indonesian islands is enchanting, with its beautiful scenery and endearing inhabitants. Tirthu Empul, the most important spring shrine, is very popular with the people of Bali. For centuries, and to renew magical powers, cult objects have been ritually cleansed in its holy water. Even today, the holy spring water is regarded as having special powers. Here, the holy water bubbles in a basin which is guarded by various godly figures. Everywhere there are small markets where farmers' produce is available. The journey goes to the north of the island. The first glance across the lake to the Gunung Batur volcano is overwhelming. At a height of 1,800 meters, the volcano is still active and has erupted 4 times in the past 100 years. Its slopes are covered in dark lava fields, which extend deep into the crater. The road takes us to the crater's edge. The Batur temple used to be situated on the shore of the lake. Due to frequent volcanic eruptions, it was decided to move the temple to the top of the crater, thus providing one of the most breathtaking views of Indonesia's volcanic landscape. is one of the smallest of the 17,000 islands which make up the Indonesian archipelago. The volcanic chain, which stretches through Sumatra and Java, also continues through Bali. After a massive volcanic eruption, millions of years ago, a caldera was formed, and from the middle of this huge crater, another volcano appeared, last erupting in 1994. This temple is dedicated to Dewi Danu, goddess of water, and is said to protect the inhabitants around Lake Batur from the volcano and to maintain their rich harvests. Bali is also rightly called the Green Paradise, as lush green dominates its landscape. The road takes us south to the Ayung River, with an impressive view into a wild natural valley, a popular meeting place for rafting enthusiasts. The road continues to the Bali Bird Park, a successful show park by the Street of the Craftsman near Batu Bolan. The bird park houses a notable variety of birds, plus tropical animals, plants, and typical Bali buildings. In this haven of natural movement and sound, there's never a dull moment. It seems as though the birds are inviting us to join in with their singing and entertainment. Natural exhibitionists, they have a lot of fun and take great pleasure in entertaining us. Such abundant variety demonstrates the blissful lifestyle that can still be found in Bali. Unlike our own small houseplants, shrubs and plants thrive in Bali's tropical garden. Although the island is small, the diversity of the landscape is breathtaking. South Bali, with its lush tropical vegetation. In the north, black lava beaches, rich green rice terraces and palm groves, the dense overgrown forests of the west, and the bleak misty highlands of the east. is a fairy tale island, a rare gem, a truly unique Garden of Eden. The most important mode of transport here is a small motorcycle, well favoured by the local inhabitants. Now it's time to visit the artists' colony of Ubud. The Necker Museum contains a cross-section of Bali art from the last century, illustrating the change from traditional to modern. But the artists have gradually turned to more practical subjects, from painted screens and batiks to new materials such as paper and canvas. Artistic themes evolved from mythology. The art collector Suteja Necker, who came from Ubud, also created a successful architectural design for his museum. In our small four-wheel drive vehicle, we resume our journey through further lush vegetation. Our next visit is to the wood carvers of Ida Bagus Marka. Originally, wood carving relating to an object was also an art form, but was reluctantly removed from the architecture. Firstly, temples and houses were covered with carved reliefs, and step by step, freestanding sculptures were born. Slowly, dusk approaches. But this beautiful day is not yet ended. "100 men sit in a circle, creating a dance arena in which dancers portray the story of Rama and Sita in the light of oil lamps and an open fire. Godlike Prince Rama lives in the woods with his wife Sita. The giant Ravana, king of the demons, wants to own Sita. In the guise of a golden deer, he lures her. Rama realizes his plot and determines to release Sita from Ravana's evil clutches. An army of loyal and courageous monkeys assist in his triumphant struggle. The trance-like calls of the monkeys, kekak, kekak, were the reasons for this dance to be called kakak or monkey dance. In the fire dance, a man rides a straw horse around a coconut husk fire and without burning himself, dances relentlessly in a trance-like state over burning embers. The capital of Bali, Denpasar, is the commercial centre of the island. Good shopping and all kinds of entertainment. Late-night fun is guaranteed. Bamboo cane is the raw material for much of the furniture, and visitors can observe for themselves how skillfully the furniture is made. As if created by Mother Nature herself, a fine array of numerous rice paddy terraces glisten in the sun. Fertile ground and well-proven irrigation systems make it possible to harvest 2 or 3 crops a year. Pura Kehen is one of the most beautiful terraced temples in Bali and religious centre of the former kingdom of Bangli. Holy scripts are stored in the Temple of Treasures. In the first courtyard of the 11th century temple, there's a large banyan tree sacred to the Hindus. In the second courtyard, much prized Chinese porcelain was worked into the terrace walls. Because it had come from foreign shores, it was regarded as very precious. The shrine that holds the temple treasures rests on a tortoise and is guarded by 2 mythical snakes. The impressive lotus throne is embellished with beautiful symbols of various deities. Ancient animism and traditional ancestral cults have fused together with Hinduism. Everything on this island is filled with powers of both good and evil. Bali is rightly known as the island that enhances all the senses. The deep emerald green of the sunlit hills and paddy fields, along with the natural nuances of a ripe, sun-kissed harvest, plus reflective surfaces of freshly irrigated fields on well-defined terraces, impress the hearts and souls of all those who come here. Our journey takes us to the base of the 3,000-metre-high Gunung Agung volcano. From here, motorcyclists bring pilgrims to the entrance of the shrine. Here, nestling against the slopes of the godly volcano Agung, we visit Bali's largest shrine. Pua Besakih is not just a single temple, but an amalgam of one large complex of 200 buildings. The so-called Mother Temple is as important to the Bali Hindus as St. Peter's Cathedral in Rome is to the Roman Catholics. There's no way of determining when the first shrine was erected on this holy site. The middle temple is dedicated to the most esteemed god Shiva, and was a place of worship in pre-Hindu days, where the snake god Basukian was worshipped. Hence the name Besakih. Mystical Bali. We can feel it. It is the island of gods and temples. The road continues southeast. Fertile land is everywhere. On this island without seasons, a century-old irrigation system provides up to 3 rice harvests each year. While some plant rice seedlings, others beat rice grains and then burn the remaining straw. Fruit is offered on the wayside, and whole village communities work together in the fields. The people of Bali live in harmony with nature. Stonemasons completing altars made out of soft sandstone or volcanic rock. Windy roads lead over the hills, past idyllic small farmhouses, where time seems to have stood still. Here, the people are happy and content and require few of today's modern accoutrements. After years of cultivation by the rice farmers, unobtrusively and in beautiful simplicity, these famous rice terraces manifest themselves like a natural wonder. After leaving the mountains behind us, we return to the coast. There's also a modern food service to be found here. A mobile kitchen drives up, takes your order, and freshly cooked food is delivered to your door. Bali Aga is the name of a small folk group who live in Tenganan, in a kind of model village. Young poets eloquently offer their artworks of script to visitors. An old Bali tradition has survived in Tenganan. around 300 people live in houses along the village road. The men skillfully scratch old letters of the Bali alphabet and pictures onto prepared leaves of the lontar palm and make them visible by applying an oil and soot mixture. To this day, cockfighting is popular. Birds of different shades and colours are tended to and fattened in bamboo baskets. Visitors to the village feel part of a bygone era. For the sake of the Bali Aga, let us hope that these traditions survive. On the nearby coastal shore, there are still a number of fishermen who, by primitive yet effective methods, harvest sea salt in order to make a modest living. A little further is the underground chamber of Golawa, regarded as an alternative to the higher temple of Besakih. The Bat Cave is said to have existed since the beginning of time, housing tens of thousands of bats, and according to legend, leads right up to Besakih, to the upper world. No one has ever entered the cave. A friendly welcome aboard a catamaran by festively dressed Bali women. The catamaran is carefully guided out of the harbour area, past huge cruise liners, out into the open sea, and already the crossing to one of the small neighbouring islands has begun. Elegantly, the catamaran glides over the waves. After a 90-minute crossing, we arrive at our next paradise destination. Small boats take us to Tanjung Sangyang Beach, an oasis of pure tranquility and relaxation awaits the visitor. In the pool area, there's ample and generous seating in the cool of shady palm trees. This beach is made for relaxation. Waves wash ashore, lapping onto strollers on the sandy beach. Worries are soon forgotten, and the gentle breeze brings with it a sense of freedom. Dedicated sportsmen meet on the island of Lebongan, which attracts many Australian surfers and divers due to its protective coral reef and white surf. An expert guide assists us in our exploration of the island, the nearby village with its temple, and a workshop in which, with great dexterity and artistry, a woman works with a loom. Back at the beach, once more we observe the wonderful idyll of this tranquil island. The thought occurs that it would be easy to stay here forever, far away from the strains and stresses of everyday life. But already the large catamaran appears from behind the rocks to take us back to the main island of Bali. Soon we are gliding elegantly along on the sea and slowly emerge into the mood of the early evening. Hustle and bustle of traffic so early in the morning. Hundreds of cyclists riding along without any knowledge of the highway code. Market day in the middle of the road. We stop, and our driver takes a keen look at all the products on offer. As in ancient times, rice is still cultivated by way of the traditional and time-honored methods. Ox and plough traverse the fertile fields. The people, barefooted and crouched, up to their knees in water, gather up the white gold into woven bamboo baskets. Three times a year the rice is planted and harvested, for which the gods are thanked. Barley, long grain rice and black rice are the staple food of the island. Aromatic paddy rice is one of the world's most sought-after rice varieties. The road continues through avenues and lush vegetation. Everywhere you look, there's fertile land, and passing greetings from friendly villagers. Wherever you look, you can see farmers working hard in fields, which have been meticulously cultivated and worked to century-old traditions. Along winding bends amongst the volcanic landscape, the journey takes us up to Coconut Shell Mountain, Bali's second highest mountain. Above the village is a vast complex of an ancestral temple of the ruler of Tabanan. The mountain shrine resembles a jungle hideout, secretly extending across several levels on a slope in a rainforest clearing. One can positively feel Mahadewa, ghost of the mountain. During special holidays, Pura Besakih is a very popular pilgrimage destination. Colourfully dressed people assemble for prayers. The sound of the gamelan orchestra can be heard everywhere, and the scent of burning incense fills the air. Religious belief is ever present. Framed by rain-drenched tropical forest, in which pockets of mist often linger, this mountain shrine radiates a sense of mystique, a magic of which is difficult to ignore. Religion is part of daily life and is a strong component of life on the island of the gods. Although situated in the middle of the jungle, close to the main temple, we find a holy place. Nature has again repossessed the throne of the water god. However, a small stream flows gently by and reflects a holy peace onto those who remain. A man-made pond enhances the area, its mystical power enrapturing all those who see it. On their heads, women carry their daily harvest in woven baskets. The gods live high up in the mountains, and demons come out of the sea. And in between is where the people live. It is their holy duty to balance both good and evil. En route can be seen the Bali population's rural life, thanks to rice cultivation. a classical cultural landscape. Here it becomes clear why Tabanan is known as Rice Chamber Island, and the rice terraces are called Heaven's Steps. Slowly the road twists up through the terraced rice fields to the highlands, to the cloud-covered volcanoes. The grounds of Ulun Danu Temple, made from black lava rock, were established at Bratan Lake. Even today, the goddess of the lakes and rivers, Dewi Danu, is worshipped here. The 11-story Meru, which rises up from a small island in the middle of the lake, is dedicated to the god Shiva. The nearby monkey forest is home to the grey monkey, an animal worshipped by the people of Bali. The monkeys come down to the roadside and demand to be fed, which, however, is not always without danger. The road takes us down from the humid mountains. Of regional importance, the Pura Taman Ayun is one of the so-called kingdom temples, in which people from all over the island congregate for prayers. In the island's second largest shrine, the distinctive structure of the 3 courtyards transformed the building concept of Bali's temples. Framed by artificial canals filled with water lilies, the temple appears like an island, and suddenly its name becomes obvious: Floating Flower Garden. Daily offerings for both ancestors and demons are an expression of deep religious belief. On their heads, festively dressed women carry baskets with sacrificial offerings. At sunset, hundreds of people visit the spectacular small temple of Tanah Lot, situated at the top of a volcanic cliff on the reef, with water gently washing up around it at high tide. May the gods be kind and preserve this paradise on earth.